I'm Allie Cartwright, and this is Q and Allie. You have questions, and I have insight. And this week, we are talking about how to process your anger in a healthy way. Right now, there are a lot of things going on in the world that have passions running really high. There's so many different opinions on how to deal with the pandemic, how serious it is, how to keep people safe, what the right choices are. There is so much going on right now regarding looking at systemic racism and how to dismantle that, how serious that is, trying to help people see the things that they have that seem so normal to them, they didn't even realize how, racist it is, things like that. And then, of course, people who don't think those things are racist at all, and there's so much differing opinion, and, there's riots, and there's peaceful protesters, and there's just passions are running really high, you guys. It's so much. And if you are human and on social media, chances are you have probably seen at least one post that has started to raise your blood pressure. So I wanted to talk to you guys about how we can learn to process our anger without stuffing it down, because a lot of times what happens, we don't want to deal with our emotions. They're complicated and they're messy, and we feel like we are being inconvenient to other people if we work on our own emotions. So we stuff them down, and maybe we tend to work on them later, but a lot of times they just get ignored. A big thing, I really wish that we could destigmatize crying in public, because I think people would have such an easier time allowing themselves to process their emotions if they could just freaking cry when their body wants to cry. But that's a whole nother topic. So although many of you, if you're anything like me, have cried tears of anger and frustration. So yeah, stuffing down our anger is one of the absolutely most unhealthy habits you can have. Stuffing that anger down, it creates these pockets of really dense, low vibrational energy, stagnant energy that, because it wasn't processed, just gets more and more unhealthy. It gets lower and lower vibration. And I fully believe that this causes all sorts of physical ailments. There is a lot to be said about how much your unprocessed emotions build up in your system. So if you can process your emotions, work through them, start working through past trauma, those old emotions in there, get those released, it's amazing how much healthier you feel. It's so great. Plus, when you take the time to get to know your emotions, then you have an easier time understanding why you react the way you do in certain situations, and it gives you more self-control over your reactions, and it makes it easier for you to formulate your opinion in a calm and concise and educated manner, instead of just getting angry and spouting out, because we all know that when you give into your anger, the good logic part of your brain tends to go out of the window. Okay, so for our meditation moment this week, we're going to get really curious about how we experience anger. So to do this meditation, you're going to get yourself settled in. You're going to do your deep breaths, just tune inwards. And then once you feel settled, what you're going to do is you're going to bring to mind something that makes you angry. that you want to process your feelings on. So, say for example, you've been getting really, really mad about people's opinion on masks, and it's just been frustrating the heck out of you. So you can settle into your meditation and then start to think about that. And as soon as you feel that anger rising up, then you're going to get really, really, really curious about two different things. The first one is the physical sensations that occur in your body as you examine this anger. You know, you might feel tightness, you might feel like rushing through your chest, or you might feel nausea in your gut, or there's a million different physical sensations you can tune into with every experience you have in life. So you get really, really, really curious about what the physical sensations that are attached to your anger are. Do your shoulders tense up, or do you bend your neck to the side? I've found that when I get angry, I tend to start to tilt my head, like I'll tighten one side of my neck. It's kind of interesting to really learn that about myself, so that when I do start getting angry, I can make sure I'm loosening up my neck and not allowing myself to physically hurt myself through that tension. So that's the first thing, is that physical sensation. The second thing is getting really curious about the emotion that you are feeling, because anger is not a singular emotion. There are so many different emotions that can be wrapped up in your anger. So there can be things like grief, frustration, confusion, fear, all of these different things that can be sort of just wound into the sense of anger that you're feeling. And you'll feel different emotions depending on what you're getting angry about. So if you can sit and get super curious about the underlying emotions that are making up your anger, again, it really just helps you learn about yourself, learn about why you react the way you do, what you believe. It can help you get in tune with the stories that have really gotten ingrained into your psyche without you realizing it, stories from society and culture, and help you just learn to process and let these things go. When you analyze your anger, you're giving yourself a chance to process it. And when you process it, you release it. You let that energy move, and it moves through and out so that it's not getting stuck and stagnant in your energy field. For our mindful moment this week, it's a pretty simple one. This is all about noticing when you are engaging in behavior that you don't really need to because it's not healthy. So again, social media, there's a lot of really passionate opinions being blasted out there, and some of them are going to seem really, really, really dumb to you. And it's baffling how people can think these things that are so different than what you think. So noticing when you are getting yourself worked up into a tizzy about other people's opinions that you can't do anything about right now, just be mindful of that. Maybe I should shut Facebook, or maybe I should shut Twitter and just go do something else that is going to bring me joy, or at least allow me to breathe and process this anger and let it go. So I'm not just building and building and building on it. So really easy idea, you guys, but it's so easy to just let yourself fall down that rabbit hole if you don't take the time to be aware of it and pull yourself out before you fall too deep. Actually, there is no too deep. You can always pull yourself out whenever you become mindful of what you're doing, honestly. And so our mantra moment for the week is, I feel my anger and let it go. Because that is all it wants. It wants to be experienced, processed, and released into the world to go and be some other form of creation that energy can be. So this mantra is really, really healthy. If you have a really hard time letting go of anger when you get yourself worked up, then sitting and just repeating this mantra to yourself, feeling it settling into your chest, into your body, feeling it vibrate against your mouth, feeling it vibrate through your throat, feeling the air used to say it, visualizing the words in your head, whatever feels powerful to you. But that repetition just really, really helps set it into your psyche so much. So if you've been having a lot of issues with your anger and just feeling really lousy because you feel like you are surrounded by so much stupidity, then just work on really processing through your feelings. Try not to shame yourself for being judgy. Getting judgy on yourself is not healthy either. Just know that when you take the time to work on yourself, to process your feelings, to accept your anger and let it be what it is and let it go, that you're going to naturally be able to exist in the world at a higher vibration so that you are behaving in a way that is more in alignment with your true self and your best life. So I know it's been a really weird year, you guys. 2020 it's been a ride. It is definitely not how I expected my year to go, but there are so many great things that we can embrace during this time, and during any time, just about learning about yourself and aligning with your best life. So I hope that you have a lot of fun this week getting curious about your anger, allowing yourself to process it, releasing tons and tons of tension, and finding more joy every single moment of your life. Again, I'm Allie Cartwright, and I hope that you live fully, laugh lots, and love yourself.